it was in fact you.
It's the other personality that's inhabiting my body right now.
And you blame Gwyneth Paltrow for that.
Yes, no question.
Oh goodness. Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. So I decided to jump in here again this week so we could just go over the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. I'm getting a lot of requests for it and I have been following it. But you guys, it's a roller coaster. I feel like it's so ridiculous, but it's also a little sad at the same time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all a rundown of what went on. And this is a friendly reminder, by the way, that I'm not a professional. Go do your own research, form your own opinions. All I'm going to be doing is taking very public information, filtering it through my own words and my own opinions. But yeah, go do your own research. So Gwyneth Paltrow, most of us know who Gwyneth Paltrow is, right? She's been acting for many years. She's famous, that whole shebang. Well, she is in court right now being sued by a man named Terry Sanderson, who claims that when they were on a ski resort in Utah named Deer Valley Ski Resort back in 2016, he's saying that Gwyneth ran into him, which caused him major injuries. We're talking about broken ribs, knocked him out cold, and caused him brain damage that is still affecting him to this day. This is what he says, okay? Now, he's saying that it's so bad it even affected his relationship with his last girlfriend, who is no longer with him, and his children, and da-da-da-da. Now, Gwyneth has come forward and said, no, that's not true at all. I didn't run into him. He actually ran into me and he hurt me, not in these types of injuries, but she did say she was pretty sore and she missed out on the rest of her day skiing, but that he wasn't hurt like this. And the reason why allegedly it is believed that he is doing all of this is because after the collision between the two on the ski resort, he figured out that she was Gwyneth Paltrow and thought that he could get famous and get some money out of this, which both stories right off the cuff could make sense. So I'm going to go through some of the highlights of the trial and I'm going to tell you guys what I think and what I think really happened and what I think about both parties, Gwyneth as well as Mr. Terry Sanderson. And yeah. So the first thing is Terry did not start this lawsuit or file for this lawsuit until 2019. So 3 years after the crash or the collision, which would now be 7 years later from the time that I'm making this video and the trial is happening. Originally, when he filed the lawsuit against her for $3 million. The judge ended up turning that down and saying that this wasn't a hit and run, which is what it seems like Terry was trying to claim it was, that she crashed into him, hit him, left him out there hurt and ribs broken and brain damage and all this stuff. She just got up and said her piece, skied away, didn't leave a phone number, didn't leave anything. This is what he's claiming. After the judge went over everything, he said no. He ended up throwing that out. And so now Terry is suing her for $300,000 and Gwyneth is countersuing for $1.
And you're bringing this claim for $1.
I am.
Okay. $1 in symbolic damages. Is that accurate?
It's an actual dollar that I'm asking for.
Now, Mr. Terry is saying that the brain damage that he has sustained from this collision has really just changed his life. He's not the same person. He used to be very charming. He used to be very energetic and outgoing. He would go dancing. He would volunteer. He would go skiing, and he does none of those things anymore since the crash. It is also being said from his side that he has basically lost his love for life and he's just not the same person anymore since his crash had happened in 2016. When he tells his side of the story, he said that he was just skiing along on the path and that he heard a blood-curdling scream.
Remember, everything was great, and then I heard something I've never heard at a ski resort, and that was a blood-curdling scream. Just, I can't do it. It was, ah, and then, boom. And it was like somebody was out of control and gonna hit a tree and was gonna die. And that's what I had until I was hit.
That's what was going on in your mind.
Overruled?
That's what's going on in your mind when you hear that scream.
That was instantaneous. Oh my gosh, somebody's out of control. And they're really seriously out of control.
And it is also claimed that the reason why Gwyneth ran into him is because she was going down the ski slope and she was talking to her kids. That one of her kids said, "Mommy, Mommy, watch this." She turned her head, wasn't paying attention, and ran into him. However, Gwyneth says that is not at all what happened. She was skiing along, minding her business.
You're going down relatively slowly when all of a sudden you heard a strange rustling noise behind you.
Yes.
Okay. And you felt like a rush of air in a strange way.
Yes.
Okay. And two skis slid in between my skis.
That's correct.
And all of a sudden, there was a body from the whole front of a body pressing into my back.
That's right.
Okay. Like, we'll talk about this in a minute. And there was a man behind me pressing into me. How did you know it was a man?
Because he was making some strange noises that sounded male, and he was large. So I assumed it was a male.
Okay, he was large?
I felt all my back
Okay.
pressing.
Okay. All right, there was a man pressing behind me, pressing into me. I was extremely upset.
Well, I was confused at first, and I didn't know exactly what was happening. It's a very strange thing to happen on a ski slope.
Now, what makes this case so interesting to me is a couple things, okay? One of the things is when Gwyneth left, she said she got up and she basically was yelling at him saying, "You effing hit me, you ran into me," because I guess when he got up, he said, did you hit me? And she was like, "You effing hit me, you effing hit me." So she was going off. She said she has a potty mouth, da, 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 da. The ski instructor that is literally part of this whole ski resort that she hired from the ski resort wrote up an incident report on that day back in 2016 and said that he collided into her. They said they checked on him, whatever, she skied off. Now she ends up sending a text message saying that she was gonna go and get a massage because she was sore from him running into her.
Let's go Ruby left. So you're coordinating a little bit
Yes.
on the mountain in real time, correct?
Yes.
And then, sorry James, I'm testing you out here. Moses wants to know if you are still skiing and where. All right, so it's 2:29, and this is, no one's thinking lawsuit yet, right?
No.
And that's you on the left with the G, and
Yes.
it says, can you read it?
It says, "I came in. That guy sort of hurt me. I'm going to get a massage at 3. Gigi is here if he wants to come."
Okay, Gigi was helping with the kids?
Yeah, Gigi was our babysitter.
All right. Did you go in earlier because you had been hit?
I did, yes.
It is alleged that later that evening, maybe 8 hours or so later, is when Terry Sanders found out that the person that ran into him was Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, it came up that there was an email that was sent that he sent to his daughter, and I'm gonna pop the email up right here, where the subject line says, "I'm famous." Then in the body it says, "Here's what happened from my friend and eyewitness," and there's a link included. Now the response to that email says, "I cannot believe that this was all caught on GoPro."
Now the "I'm famous," that refers to my client, right? He's famous because he collided with a celebrity, right?
That's how I take that.
So he knew who she was by 8 p.m. that night.
Kind of looks that way.
And do you have any idea where this link went? The link of the most important piece of evidence that could be presented at trial today?
It looks like it's somewhere out there in the cyber sphere.
Now, when they called Mr. Sanders to the stand, he said it wasn't caught on GoPro, wasn't caught on a camera. He doesn't know, nobody caught it on camera. Now, it is also said that Terry typically would wear a GoPro, but he didn't have it on that day. So, I mean, I don't know, y'all. That seems a bit sketchy, right? I'm famous and then sends a video, and then somebody says, I can't believe you caught all of this on camera. And now, where's the video? He's claiming that he has no video of the incident.
It looks like it's somewhere out there in the cyber sphere.
To me, that seems super sketchy right off the rip. And it's also telling, in my opinion, that Gwyneth sent a text message literally that day saying that she was sore from getting hit and she needed a massage. Okay, so Terry ends up calling a witness, and it's a guy that went skiing with him that day. Now, his testimony to me seems a little shady. This is my personal opinion. Now, his testimony comes with some messages that says that Terry, when he saw him, he was scared. Terry didn't know where he was at. He had broken ribs, like a concussion. But the thing about these messages are, this was sent days after the collision, which it could have been genuine, but it could have also been because they figured out that that was Gwyneth, and then they started, making a little bit of a paper trail. I don't know.
So what you wrote here is not what you told the jury last week. Is that fair to say?
Could you please repeat that?
Just here in your note, you do not say that he did later remember his name. You just say he didn't remember it all. And as I understand it, that was different than what you told the jury last week. Is that correct?
Yes. When I basically was talking about this, I didn't go into much detail, on this. I was just making a point that he was having a hard time knowing what his name was.
If I was on the jury, I would be thinking right now that it is possible that one of his friends had a GoPro on, caught it all on video, and after they watched the video over and over again and they realized this was Gwyneth, they started coming up with a plan, like the whole, I'm famous, wow, you could be famous. Oh, you could get some money out of this. Famous people, real famous people, they have lawyers on retainer. They pay them every month just in case something happens. I even heard Will Smith say that he gets sued 10 times a year. This is a thing that happens. There are actually agitators out there that will go out to different hot spots and hope to get into a fight or something like that with somebody famous so they can sue them. That is a literal thing. It sucks and it's really sad, but it is a thing. If they can provoke somebody into punching them in the face, they can take them to court, and even better, maybe even settle before they get to court, and they don't even have to do any work and they just get a paycheck. Now, I don't think that's what this Terry guy did, but keep following me here. So his daughters ended up testifying on his behalf, and Terry actually went out of the courtroom because he did not want to have to see his daughters testify. One of his daughters that got up there, she was very emotional and said that her dad has changed drastically since the collision. She even said that he went off, got aggressive, and yelled at her young daughter, and her daughter was crying, and that she had never seen her father do that before.
Tears are streaming down her eyes, and she is just so belittled and made to feel like she's stupid. It was an awful, awful experience, and I have never known my dad to raise his voice or scream or belittle or do those sorts of things. It was just very uncharacteristic of him.
His other daughter got up there to testify, and in my opinion, she acted like she did not want to be there. She was trying to really testify on behalf of her dad and say anything positive she could.
Did you see that in your dad? Pre-ski collision, he's so focused on himself rather than others.
I think he does have that tendency, or he did prior to the accident. It's after the accident it's been magnified for sure.
Did you know him to blame others frequently pre-ski collision?
No. I think it's just great that he was trying to get tools. Yeah.
Well, he's getting tools because he has a problem with communicating with others that doesn't blame them. Did you observe that prior to the ski collision?
I don't think any humans are perfect, and he's acknowledging these are things I'm working on. That's how I understand that.
Okay. One of the things he told his doctor 3 weeks before the ski collision was he was not able to do the things he had been able to do. Does that surprise you?
Very much so.
Okay. You don't dispute the medical record 3 weeks before the ski collision, do you?
I would have a hard time disputing his records.
Now, there were other professionals that testified, including a physicist on Gwyneth's side who said that her story makes the most sense, and also on Terry's side where his neurologist testified that his brain actually did change or seemingly changed since after the accident, and also where his ribs were broken on his left side.
And I don't think it would be plausible that if he were running into her that he would have broken the ribs on the side of his chest.
So what do I think as of now? I believe Gwyneth's story, although it's funny seeing her up on the stand, and I've been seeing people online, they're pretty irritated by the way that Gwyneth seems to represent herself, which I get because she's in a courtroom and she's just kind of like, why am I here? This is so ridiculous, which I get it because why is she there? Maybe this is ridiculous. You know, she's countersuing for $1. She's losing money whether she wins or not. She's not suing this man back trying to hurt him, but she's also not going to just bow down and give him her money if she believes she's right. That's how I'm taking it. But then again, she probably got $300,000 like it ain't nothing, y'all. She's probably like, ugh, if I got to pay this, whatever it is, let's just get it over with. But I'm not going to just give him this money because it's the principle of the thing. Now, when it comes to Terry Sanderson, I feel bad for him because I actually believe he has a mental decline or he's having issues with his brain and his physical health. He's 76 years old, okay? Even if he was in perfect health in 2016 and he was in perfect health right now, 7 years is a long time. I don't know how close some of y'all are with your older parents or maybe even your grandparents, but 7 years can make a huge difference in somebody's cognitive function. And I believe he already had a ton of health issues. They talked about it in court. I mean, he had all kind of stuff going on with him. And then, you know, whether this accident was his fault or not, whether the accident happened or not, I think that all of the circumstances come together for a beautiful picture for him to sue. I think he had a bunch of failed relationships. I think his kids are grown and are moved on to their lives, and he is typically likes to be the center of attention, or he is always involved in stuff, and he had this accident, you know, probably was talking to his friends about it. His friends were probably boosting his head up. No, you should sue her. She's got plenty of money. And I think that's why 3 years later, he was already having health issues, and I think that he decided to sue. That's what I think. I could be wrong.
That portion of the deposition to be published?
May I ask when this happened?
Sure. 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, you told this jury, I've never thought it was cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Do you recall that?
Yes, I guess I did say that, absolutely.
And that's not a true statement, is it? You have said this in your deposition, true?
Honestly, I don't ever remember saying it.
Bring it up whenever you
but
can.
I don't doubt you. I misspeak a lot.
Okay, this is page 15, line 5 through 8. So the words, I'm famous, this is my question, seem to say, I think it's cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Was that your thinking at the time? And your answer was yes. I guess, yes.
Agreed that saying I'm famous was a crazy thing to say. Agree?
Absolutely, it's not me. I don't buy into that.
But it was you, right? Just to be clear. When you say it wasn't me, it was in fact you.
It's the other personality that's inhabiting my body right now.
And you blame Gwyneth Paltrow for that?
Yes, no question.
Gwyneth was even asked if she felt bad for him, and she said yes. She said, I did not cause this collision or this incident, But I do feel bad because it is obvious that he has really bad health issues and his health is deteriorating, and it's sad. They even brought up things about the ski instructor, the one that filed the incident report, about how this person would be more inclined to testify for Gwyneth because she was paying them and she spent a lot of money at the ski resort. I don't believe any of that. I mean, he filed the incident report immediately after, back in 2016. I mean, maybe they would be more inclined, but I don't understand why they would do that. Like I said, Gwyneth has the money to just pay this person. She could have just paid him $300,000 and not even wasted her time with lawyers' fees and be in court. I think that her story leans more to the truth. And I think his story, I don't necessarily think he's being malicious. I just think what do I got to lose? I could be famous. I had this incident. He doesn't really remember everything that happened because he's had some brain issues going on, and he's 76, and why not go for it? That's what I think. So what do you guys think? Do you think that maybe Terry's story is the truth? Or do you think that it probably leans more to Gwyneth? Let me know what you guys think down below. Other than that, I will see y'all Friday for our true crime story time. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.